Paik4Life. We're at week 7. I want to say week 7 is 2023. But yeah, we're on a streak. So thanks everyone who's making it tonight. We got a old figure, but new figure for me. This is BingoToys BT02 Windgirl, their version of Windblade. So I put in the poll here. For the longest time, I thought this character's name was Windblade because she has blades on her wings usually, and I don't know, it sounded better to me. I never knew until like years later that her name is actually Windblade. But what do you think is a better name, Wing Blade or Windblade? Let me know in the poll below. Also, there's a Q&A, live Q&A that we do that is part of the chat as well if you're here. If there are any questions that you have, go ahead and drop that, and I'll take time to answer those questions when we get to them. Quick shout outs to those of you who are here: McLuta G, Angelo, Frankie Lawless, Ridiculous, Princeton, yeah, Wingblade, right? I see. I knew fist bump to Phalanx. Hey, Petrosum, how's it going? All right, so this is their version. It's a third-party figure, not official. I really like the artwork on this. So this is their second figure. The first figure is their Bumblebee movie, Shockwave, Silencer Wave, or something like that, which I'm actually on the look for. I'm trying to get one right now. But this artwork's really interesting. It's very pixelated, like virus-like, that you see in the movies, how hacking goes, very much like that. On the side, nothing that particularly interesting. Made in China 2022. The back is her in one of her very many configurations that you can do for alt mode. Yeah, one has a D, one has a G. The official name is actually Windblade, but I could have sworn for over a year that her name was Wing with a G blade. So I still have problems doing that. The one thing I'll note about this box is it says I got this from a local. I don't know if this is just on his or where he got his, but it says not for sale. I not sure why you would be making if it's not for sale. Maybe this is a weird exclusive one. I don't know. But then you can get the YouTube video and the Billy, which I guess is the Chinese YouTube for instructions. There are no paper manuals with this. I do like video manuals. Obviously, I'm a big proponent of those, but I also find them super annoying when you don't put anything in there, because a lot of times they leave out a lot of things in the video manuals. Like they don't do the accessories, or they cut out a lot of stuff. So I would at least like to have some information, because like the official one here, they did Mang motion. They didn't show anything like how to replace the face or really use the stand or anything like that that she comes with. So I mean, that's really kind of an incomplete manual in my opinion. So come on, let's not try to do the bare minimum here. All right, let's see here. All right, so let's get her out of the packaging. She looks really, really nice. I only got this because after people were saying that how nice she was, she looks really great sculpt wise, but also material wise. Like these are actually supposed to be some kind of metal. I think people are saying it's aluminum or something like that. The one thing I will say with this figure is it's so hard just to keep her upright. That's probably why they gave her a stand. As you would imagine with like a fembot, she has very dainty feet, and the way that her ankles work here, well, we'll just lean her up against here for now. And then she does have a lot of accessories. So she has the stand. We'll do with this first. It's kind of an over and under construction. You just go like this, and then you have this, and then you have a whole bunch of faces, hands, these stands. So there you get 2 of these pieces. Oh, sorry, I changed the orientation on my camera, so I'm like all the way off to the side here, but I need to focus over here. But these 2 can work with these ports here. You want to use this short stemmed one and then plug it into here. They are pretty tight, but you can also combine them. So very quickly you can remove this section here, and then I think it's removed this one, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, no, sorry. You have to leave this one on, yeah. So then you use one of these with this port out here, and then you just combine them like this. I don't think it's that good. Mine's like you can see it's super loose. But what you're supposed to do is also combine it by using, where is it? Oh, did I do it backwards? This is supposed to fold. One of these is supposed to fold up and clip on. Oh, I think I might have it backwards. Hold on. Sorry. Because you basically fold one of these. No, I was right. Yeah, I was right. Okay. And then you put this one on. Ah! This is on the wrong side. There we go. Okay. We're figuring it out, people. But yeah, you can plug this one in like so. So then you need to make sure that this tab is here and it slots into this end, and this kind of adds additional support. And then you add the actual port here. I guess you can use either of these, but in any case, you plug one of these in here, one of these in here. But the problem is, unlike some of the Bandai or other better quality stands, this is just pegged in as opposed to having a screw and a nut that actually holds these pieces together. So like any kind of movement, like just doing like this, it kind of works itself out, and it's super annoying. So I would not recommend this stand at all. And then kind of like the Masterpiece stands, you can slot this in here. I actually put it in on the wrong side. There's actually an orientation that's probably better. But anyway, it works just fine. And then there's a port on her back, which you can access. I didn't see a lot of people talking about this, but there is articulation on the back here where you can angle the cockpit out. That's so you can have access to her butt port here. And you can peg this in, but easier said than done. There's not a whole lot of clearance, and it's definitely much easier to peg it into her butt first. That's what she said. And then peg it in like this. You can do this for flight stands, or you can do this for her robot stand. You can use just one. You can use this longer port. You have some options, but the large takeaway for this stand is it's pretty shitty. You should get something else, like something like this, and port this in instead. Obviously, this is a shorter one, but this works just fine. So any of the Tamashi stages would be a much better option for you. So I don't recommend this stand whatsoever. It's just more frustration than it's worth. So that's all we're really going to talk about until we get to alt mode, where we'll show off how you can plug it into her chest. Let's see, what other accessories do we have? Yeah, I'm just going to leave her down because she just does not balance well. One of the other things that I'm not sure about is, again, I got this from a local. I haven't seen. I only watched a couple reviews, and the ones that I saw, like from TM Reviews and T-Man, they both had the same figure, loaned by Partsformer. I didn't see them talk about this, or maybe I skipped over it. I don't even know if this is part of this figure or not, but it was in the box that I got. I think you can use this in conjunction with the blades for kind of like a shuriken kind of thing. I don't know if that's what this is for, or if this is just something that my local buddy, found or placed in this box by mistake, but it works pretty well because then you have like this kind of circular shuriken blade that you can use, because there's a whole bunch of blades, as you can see, 6 blades. They're all really nicely molded with some detail, not just a plain blade. It's kind of like serrated and hooked around. There's 2 shorter ones, 2 medium ones, and two long ones, and you can combine them in various different ways. Whether this is included or not, somebody else can probably tell me if this is official or not. They go in her wings? Oh, they go in her wings? Really? This? Are you talking about this? This goes in her wings? I mean, not that, not this. This thing? If so, I have no idea where they go in her wings. I know the blades do, but we'll talk about that in a bit. But this port, where does this go? Yeah, see, that's another problem, right? So like, this doesn't come with. Well, yeah, I know the knives do. Everybody knows the knives do. That's obvious. Again, Windblade is why I think she should be called Windblade. But I'm talking about this little thingy here. You thought it was part of the stand? I don't think so. I don't see how this would be useful to the stand. But anyway, this little thing, if you want, if yours comes with it, you can make use of it that way to make kind of a shuriken. Let's see here. As you can see, some of the things with this figure are kind of loose. So again, I want to go through the accessories first. Let's see what else we have here. So she has 3 faces. So she has the smiley face, which we'll take a look at. She has an O face, which you guys can understand what that is for. She has an angry face here, and then she has kind of a laughing face. They're all quite nicely done. I guess we can put my favorite is just the stock smiling face. I think that's the cutest. It's a nice little cute Asian girl smile. You can just pull out on this, and it's just a big tab. I guess we'll put on the O face, but that's my least favorite of the faces. I like the cute one. Oh no, this is the angry face. Is it? No, this is the O face. I can't even tell. This is the angry face, but anyway, we'll leave this one on. She comes stock with these fists, and these fists are the ones you'll need to do for transformation. They're just balled up fists. They're on ball pegs, so you can just pop it off. And we'll throw on the bladed one. So she has a left and right one for her blade holding ones, as you can see here. And she can hold any of them in place quite well. And then we'll show how they work with the wings in a bit. What else does she have? Oh, so let me show her the different hands. She has this one, which I'll try to mimic here, which is, I don't know where this started, but definitely the Asian countries, Asian girls started using this to make a heart. You can kind of see, makes a heart shape here. And then if you're not familiar with that heart, she has another set of hands, which can make a heart like this. So she's got a lot of love to give. If you guys watch One Piece, it kind of reminds me of Hancock's. That's her name, Hancock, not Hancock. Just to make sure you guys know that. I thought she had 2 of these hands, but maybe not. She has one, or at least on mine, she only has one left-handed one that's kind of like jazz handsy. But yeah, let's get rid of this one and the blade and throw on the fist again, because we're going to need that for transformation. So I don't want to forget about that, because you do have small clearances, and it's a very specific way to do to the hands and where they go. The wings, as you can see, at least on mine, and I've seen on some other reviews, they need some better tolerances. I don't love that they did the wings in metal. I mean, I kind of understand why, but there are a couple downsides to it. So first, we'll look at it. There's a lot of issues with some edging of the paint that aren't clean or don't get as much coverage. It's really hard to see in this video, I'm sure, but right here, there's like missing lines. Also on the inside, you can see on the upper sides here. And then metal, like die-cast metal on metal joints, they always end up being loose. So I'm sure you can put some floor polish or kiki or whatever you want to use to kind of tighten those up, but it's kind of annoying to have to deal with that. That said, it does look like a beautiful figure. Nice metallic. The materials are nice. They feel nice, but my concern is with the wings just being all floppy. Same thing with like this joint here. So the wings can tab in or be released on this tab section here on these double hinges, but the hinges are also on die cast, and they just flop around. They're super loose, so you kind of need to keep them tabbed in to get any sort of stability there. So that's annoying. That's probably one of the more annoying things. Just while she has lots of nice posability, just again, making her stand and stuff is really kind of annoying. We'll go through the wings real quick for how you can put these in. So for the long one, you can do it a variety of different ways, but for any of them, you can put this in this hole here. But I find that this hole is super loose on this side. Doesn't matter which handle I do. On this side, it ends up being super loose, but the other side is fine. So that's really annoying. But you can help it out by tabbing it in and then pulling this bottom wing part. It has like a gap here that can hold that in place, and then it has a little slot here. These other two, so the short one, you'll see in here it's kind of weird. It has peg holes, and this has pegs. So what you need to do is kind of wedge it in, but it's weird how you can do it with the clearances. Um, Here, let's see here. You got to kind of get it at an angle. Oh, let's lift this up as well. You got to kind of get it at an angle and then put in one side of the peg, push that in, and then twist, and then you can kind of center it. So that one gets done. And the last one, I really just don't understand how this works. It uses this little notching system, and you come in here and you can see this gap. It kind of rides in, and then other than this, it barely holds on. So if you don't have this closed, it basically just falls off anytime you angle it to the side. So make sure you go ahead and, oh, this is not the right one. The one with the notch. This is the medium one. Make sure, again, to make use of this section to stabilize it. So you can see how it looks here. And then you have a variety of different ways you can do it. Like this one, you can flip upside down. This one, you can flip upside down. So you have a lot of options here. And it does look nice. I like that it does have a variety of options, display options with these. I would have preferred something a little bit more simple, again, with just the tabs or pegs being a lot more secure. But yeah. And the fact that they use basically 3 different mechanisms is just really kind of odd. And to get this one out is definitely annoying. Again, you want to push all the way into one side to release one of the pegs and then just jostle it out. All right. The other thing you can do with these is, so there's a lot going on. There's a lot. I'm not going to be able to go through everything, obviously, because there's so many combinations, but you can use the medium and large blade to peg in with these pegs on either side of the small one. You can do all sorts of weaponry like this or whatever. You can tab these in various sections, and we'll show this off in alt mode as well. But it is cool that they have a lot of playability. So if you're a lot more clever than me, I'm sure you'll probably figure out a lot more cool things to do. But just to make life easier and not have blades fall off, I'm just going to go through the review of her without the blades and the wings. All right, so let's get into articulation finally. So coming to the head, she is on a ball jointed neck. So she can get all the way around. I always like that because you can get some posability there. Even her little head crest pieces can fold up. I think that's probably mostly for transformation clearance, but you can get them out like this, very traditional Japanese kind of head. And then on the back here, I don't know if this is supposed to come out, but mine was loose enough. She has like this metallic ribbon here, bow, that pegs into the back of her head, like so. Her neck is on a hinge, but it's restricted because of the way the transformation works. It holds it in, but I guess you can always loosen this up and then make it so you can make use of that. But again, that's really part of the transformation. Let me make sure that that's correctly done. The way that it transforms is really interesting. It basically uses like an I-beam / T piece. Where are we? I guess we'll go with the wings. So we kind of already talked about the wings. They tab in, but you can pull them out. And there's a series of hinges. So there's a double hinge. I think it's a double hinge. Yeah, there's a double hinge that can slightly collapse in on here. You have this hinge here, and then you have these various different hinges. One area that you want to be careful of when you articulate it is if you move this all the way in, you can, no, all the way out? No, all the way in. All the way in. You should just barely be able to clear this like so, and you can get these facing upwards. And again, depending on how you have the swords posed in here, you can make use of that up here. So that's kind of cool too. But yeah, you just have to make sure you have the clearance here. Yeah, so you have to kind of tuck it in. You can see it just barely passes by. I think it would have been nice if they had something where it tabbed in at least the basic positions. But again, with these looseness of these hinges, it just ends up being kind of frustrating to deal with. Let's see here. What else do we have? We already talked about the cockpit. Again, this is on the double hinge. You can have it like collapsed in, or you can angle it out. I think it makes more sense to have it angled out. Gives her kind of an interesting silhouette. But again, you can just collapse it in on itself, if I can get it done. Like so, so it just sits flat on her back and she has less of a protruding backpack. That's up to you. So I'm going to tab these back in. But as you can see, as I talk to it, it just looks really nice. All these details, molded details, the metallic paints. I mean, that is one of the nice parts of these figures. The translucent purple pieces here on the cockpit, the intakes here, even the metallic blue inside here. Looks really, really nice. Coming to the shoulders, she has shoulder pauldrons that can kind of move out of the way. If you get these wings unpegged, you can get all the way up and kind of around on a friction hinge. This one can come out. She has a bicep swivel. She has double jointed elbows. She has a little bit of rotation at the forearm, as you can see here. And she can collapse. This is for transformation. Oops, her bow fell off. She can collapse her forearm armor a little bit. Depending on, I guess, the situation, I guess that might be useful. Her wrist is on that ball peg, but then she also has a transformation joint that could be useful as well. It kind of comes in like this. All right. Oh yeah, definitely. I posted a bunch of the trailers in my Discord from the Super Bowl, the Flash, the Mario one. What else did I post? The Guardians of the Galaxy 3. They all look really good. The Flash I had no interest in until I saw this latest trailer. Where were we? Oh, the upper body. I wish the upper body. I mean, I like this. It's in a ball peg, so you get a lot of motion there. The downside of it is you can't rotate all the way around because of the molding. And she doesn't have a proper waist swivel. She just has an upper body kind of ball peg here, which is a bummer because then you can't rotate at the waist. Let's see here. Her side skirts are on ball pegs as well. Her legs are very interesting. So if you look in here, they're actually joined this way, so they're at an angle. So when you push it forward, it actually rotates like this. But you can kind of make use of that with the thigh swivel to kind of hide that by rotating the thigh so it looks like she's coming kind of straight up. I think it's just kind of odd, but it's not the worst thing given that she has that other rotation at the thigh that can kind of hide it. She has a very weird hip joint like this. So I guess you can use this for like crossing leg poses and stuff like that. Other, I'm sure, more perverse types of poses. But it's very hard to get locked in. The only way I can really lock it in is if I get it all the way up to the side. And you can see she can get 90 degrees out here. And on the back, again, she doesn't get a whole lot going backwards because of the way that it's positioned in here. So it like twists to the side as opposed to twisting back. She has double jointed knees, which are very nice. And she even has a spring-loaded collapsing calf, which will let you get even more. I mean, here, you can get it totally almost like parallel with itself, which is very nice. These knee pieces are actually skids for her alt mode, so we won't talk about that. She has a little bit of movement in her kneecap. Not particularly useful, but it's there. Her feet are also very interesting, and I'm going to show you exactly how that joint works in a second. But she has this transformation joint. You may find a use for this as well. And it also rotates on here. I think it's actually technically a ball peg, but you want to tab that in for the most part. The heel can come forward or go back, and the toe is actually the whole foot can go forward or back. And I want to show you this joint itself. I wish they did this joint a little bit better, like the Revoltech joints, because the way they have it here, have it designed here, is actually really limiting. So you can see it's a peg that can go into the foot, which gives you rotation here and here. But the actual tilting mechanism only works in one direction. So tilting wise, this joint here can go not even completely straight, but basically straight, and then it can go about 45 degrees, and that's it. It can't go backwards or anything like that. So you basically either get forward or back tilt or side tilt or some kind of weird combination. You can make use of it, but it's just kind of frustrating to use. So like right now, since I'm using it as a forward or back tilt, you can't really use the ankle tilt. You can use the rotation. But if you rotate it at the top peg, then you can start getting ankle tilt. But again, since it only tilts 45 degrees one way and not both directions, you can tilt it out, but then you can't tilt it in unless you rotate this all the way around. And again, it's just super annoying to work with. So if you work it all the way around this way and put it into the foot, now you have inward ankle tilt. So you can make use of it, but it's just so limiting. It's so odd that it only does 45 degrees of rotation at one particular rotational joint. So it's really kind of frustrating. If it was better, like a Rebel Tech joint, then I would give it a lot more credit. But it's just really frustrating to use. All right, well, so I spent a lot of time on articulation because that is one of the biggest selling points of this figure. But let's show off what she looks like in comparison to some other figures, if I can kind of keep her stood up, which I probably won't be able to do. Okay. Are you gonna work? Are you gonna work for me? Okay. Well, we'll just be very careful not to bump her. One of the figures that I think that she does look pretty good with is the Mastermind Creations. I don't even remember her name. The female Tarm, whatever her name is. I think they work pretty well together. They're about head to head, and they're both very stylized like this. Obviously, not as metallic. This is the original release, so it's a little bit lighter in color. Here she is with Optus Pexis. I think this also looks pretty good. I know a lot of people are thinking of displaying her with the Masterpiece collection. So here's MP44. I guess that works, and also MPRC. So I'm trying to get you as many comparisons as would be relevant. She's obviously pretty tall. I think it would be pretty cool if they redid her as kind of the assassin RC from IDW, where RC was a total badass. All right, so let me get these out of the way, and then we'll actually get into transformation. Transformation is pretty simple, so I don't mind spending a little bit more time tonight on the articulation. But before we do that, oh, Coulter, yeah, Eris Coulter, that's what it was. Thanks, Princeton. All right, before we move on, let me go ahead and take a look and see if there are any questions. Princess, are you going to add her to your display or get rid of her? I think I am going to keep her. I do like how she looks. It's just once I'm definitely gonna have to use a stand with her, and then once I have her posed, I probably won't play with her all too much. Ridiculous Badger, he has been using the Q&A section as a this or that. If you guys have been joining any of my chatter days, I always do this or that. Chicken or beef, I would probably go with I'll probably go with beef. But if you added pork in there, I'd probably go with pork overall, just because I feel like it's super diverse. Let's see. Princeton says, "What is your favorite Windblade figure?" I don't have many. I did have the small Legends one. Was it Iron Factory? I forget which one that was. I had one Legends one, and I had the original mainline one, but right now, she's the only. I think she might be the only Windblade that I have in my collection. I'd have to check. I wasn't looking around all too hard to find another one, since I knew this is the only one that would be kind of in this scale. All right, so let's go ahead and get into the transformation. Transformation is pretty interesting how it works. I do like it, and for such an articulated figure that doesn't have a lot of kibble, it actually doesn't end up looking too much like just a robot that's folded up, which I appreciate. So yeah, sorry I'm off to the side here. Like I said, I flipped my camera orientation a little bit, so I just have to get used to being over here. All right, so the first thing we'll do is, oh, and big shout out to TM Reviews and T-Man978. I used their instructions more than I did the official ones, just because they explained a little bit better and it was a little bit more realistic instead of the stop motion one that Mag Motion did, which was the official one. So first thing we'll do is actually deal with the neck panel. So we're going to release the neck panels. You can see there's a little gap here, and it has a little I-beam or T-beam piece that it basically slots into to hold it into place. So we want to open this up, flip this down, and then on the backpack is on a set of double hinges. You want to hinge that from the bottom upwards. So you can see here now it's straightened out. It was down like this at 90 degrees. Now it's straight out like so. With the head, we'll go ahead and fold these up just because they might get in the way a bit. What you want to do is this neck panel, you basically want to straighten this up like this, then fold back on the base one like so, and then this will all tuck into the back. So it should sit flush on the back here, if you can see that. Okay? With that, we're going to rotate this entire cockpit and wings. This entire backpack makes up the majority of the plane. And then we're going to rock this, instead of down like we did before, we're rocking it up. And goes in. If you had your cockpit angled, you just want to collapse that in so that there's no gap here. Be very careful here, just because there's so little clearance you can see between her face and her back. Like, you can definitely start scraping your face. So I would just be careful and just move it back, or use one of the faces that doesn't protrude as much. This one actually does protrude quite a bit. So we'll just do that. And then this section here, you'll see that there's a little screw hole with a cutout. That's for this little tab piece that we folded in. And that tabs in up here. So, like so. And that's it. So her boobies, whatever you want to call them, they will be right up in front and center, even in alt mode. Robot mode, alt mode, you got to show off what you got, right? All right, so from here, I'm going to deal with the legs first. This is kind of out of order, but I want to deal with the legs first. Well, and one thing I do that they don't show in the instructions is I like to rotate these up and kind of position them like this, because I think they make it look a little bit more sleek and hides kind of the waist a bit more. Totally optional, but I think it looks better to do it like this. So with the legs, the only thing you need to do basically is fold it up at that joint, and then you want to rotate 90 degrees this way. So pull it back, and then rotate it. Fold up the heel. And then when we put this in, like so, we're going to use those double jointed knees. These are going to go into the wings themselves. Hey, TM, I just gave you a quick shout out on your instructions. So you're going to open this up and open this up. They're kind of hidden. It's very surprising that they were there. While we're here, why don't we open these little panels up too? On the other side, the underside. They're little gap hiders. And these are where those fists, as I told you before, will reside. So once you have these up like this, you want to make sure, again, don't mess with any of the heels or anything like that, or ankles. All you need to do is basically use this joint, and you leave these as they were. You're going to bring these down on these double hinges, like so. And then this foot will go in here. And again, you want to make 90-degree angles here. So keep the legs straight. Keep this at 90 degrees. And you gotta just need to get this in here. And what you need is this little piece here, which I guess makes up the back of the heel or whatever. This side, this little tab piece will kind of basically hook into this gap. So you want to push this in like so. And we're done. So same thing on this side. Rock this down. Get this in. So you'll know it's right when this kind of angle kind of goes in here, and you can see clearly through there. Close this up. And then with this, you just make sure you're not just scraping up the head piece. And you can push these in as far as you'd like, generally. I mean, there's a little bit of room here for you to position these. These hinges won't go completely straight. They'll be at a slight angle tilting outwards at the very least. And lastly, we're going to come to the arms and fill these in. So what you're going to want to do here is tuck this in like so, rotate at the bicep, and then using the double hinged elbows, you basically want to collapse the forearm as I mentioned before, and then have it like this, where the bicep is slightly towards the inside. So we'll show that again. This is straight, tilted in, and then collapsed. Get this fist face. I have it where the palms are facing outwards. I think that's the easiest way to get it in. I think that's how it's supposed to be designed. But you can probably squeeze it in some other ways. Just be careful with some of the paint here. And then you just basically just jam it in now. Some people like to do this first. I find that the legs are a little bit harder to manage, which is why I do the legs first. Because once you have the fist locked in, you have much less like kind of like wiggle room to move these about. And with that, you're basically in the alt mode. Now it's just kind of trying to figure out how you want this positioned. So I'm going to show you the one configuration I like that I think is kind of unique. It does use the blades, so we'll go ahead and take the blades. We'll just take the big one here, and we'll leave the other one like this. And we'll just make it basically kind of like 90 degrees. So the big ones, what you're going to do is basically you can slot in this way and then bring it around this way, or you can do it the other way. Again, using that same peg hole that we did for robot mode. Just be careful when you pull this down. Basically, again, these things are what are going to be the saving grace of these wing blades, is that you have these to kind of lock them in place. But I like it. How did I do it before? I had it so that they were positioned like this. How did I do this? I'm trying to remember how. Oh yeah, I just slotted these in here, and I didn't peg in the actual handle itself. I just used the friction of the wingtips, and that way you have this kind of like almost like pincher thing that goes up here, and then you can use the other blades however you want. But I kind of like this. I guess formal instructions say to use this weird tab again. There's a little tab on the calf here. And you're supposed to get the medium-sized blade tabbed in like that. Obviously, you can probably flip it upside down if you want, or flip it backwards, or flip it like this. So it's facing forward, I think, maybe. But in any case, we'll just go with this rear configuration like so. Again, angle this however you'd like. It really doesn't matter. This is all stylistic choices here now. But we're done with the transformation. Now we're just playing around with what you like. So again, I kind of like this because it just looks really menacing. Or you can have them out like this to the side, angled. Again, if only these hinges were better tolerance and had some friction, it would be so cool. But I like the silhouette of this. It just makes it look like a very aggressive blade, just a huge blade. She's just gonna stabby you with these blades on the sides and the point here. And then you can get these down and around if you want, out to the side, however you want. There's so many configurations. The Mang Motion one shows a bunch of them at the end, kind of like a compilation. The only other thing that you can really do in this mode is the skids that I talked about, those weird little kneecap looking things. You can bring those down. You can see they come out. They're not wheels, they're skids. Same thing on the front here. If you can reach in here with a fingernail, you can pull this out like so. And just make sure you have these this really compacted in, because that is what will let you get clearance enough to get these to actually ride on the skids here. like so. It looks pretty cool. And then lastly, just to show you how this works, you want to use, I believe it's this piece here, this longer piece, and the port is actually deep inside of her chest here. So that's why you need to use this longer one. And again, this stand is like not very good because, again, these are just pegged together at these joints. So there's basically no friction on this one. Maybe if I use the other one, it'll be better. So yeah, I that's one of the things that they probably should just not have included. Yeah, see, this is so loose. So even if you are able to tab this in, get it in, like this one, mine doesn't even hold together anymore. So I'm trying to get these skids in. T-Man has a pet peeve where if you keep out the wheels, landing gear, or skids when it's on a flight stand, he finds that super annoying. So I'm doing this just for you, T-Man. I don't even think you're here. But yeah, so you can see it just doesn't hold up at all. You can probably do some kind of weird combination where you use both like this and get like double the support or something like that, but I haven't figured it out. And regardless, the flight stand sucks. I mean, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. It just totally sucks. So throw this in the trash. You don't need it. We're not going to talk about this one anymore. But yeah, the actual alt mode, like I said, it looks pretty good. You got a little bow on top. Oh, sorry, I didn't talk about the cockpit. You can open the cockpit. It's probably easiest. Yeah, there we go. Actually had some molded details and seats. You're not going to be able to fit anything in here, but it's kind of cool that they do have it. Just be careful with it. Oh, obviously with these stupid wings, you can open these up, and again, you can add, if you want to get rid of this one, you can add this one over here somehow. Up here, again, using that weird twisting method, you can use the medium-sized blade to go in here again. Oh, actually, now that I think about it, you can't because this one, the foot isn't here, so you can't do this one. So this one will always basically need to be back here. But you can definitely put the small one in, tab it in again. But I'm not going to go through all that. That's a lot of trouble for something that you guys already understand. So let's go ahead and get these blades out, untab these, and we're going to go off into robot mode and then finish off this nice Sunday review. So we'll just flip these up, open these sections here, pull out the fist. Careful not to get the fist stuck in here. There we go. Rotate, straighten out the elbows, the double joint elbows. Remember, you kind of had to collapse them as well as make use of the double joints. Expand, straighten out the two elbow joints. Get the shoulder pauldrons out. Now we can deal with the legs. Open up these sections if you haven't already. Pull this out, straighten it out. And then, again, the only thing you need to mess with down here, don't mess with any of the foot or anything like that. You just rotate this 90 degrees outwards and then close it up. It does have a small tab here, and then expand the heel. If you start trying to mess with like the ankle joints and everything like that, that's highly unnecessary. And then you're going to start getting these twisted in the wrong ways, and they're just kind of frustrating to use. So don't mess with that. Again, just pull this out, completely straighten the leg, and then just rotate this backwards 90 degrees and then straighten it out. That's simple. Coming to the top, we're going to untab the chests. I don't know why I pluralized that. The breasts. And then we'll, oh, sorry. Let's get these down. Again, this was optional, but like I said, I think they fill in the gap, the curvature around the waist, and hide that it's a robot a little bit more from underneath. The back, we're going to expand on that double hinge right there. Rotate it around. I like to angle this out. Get the wings down however you'd like. These are the only joints that actually seem to hold really, really well, and that's because they're made adjoined with screws, and you can always tighten them a little bit. Again, just be careful about that. While the other sections are a little too loose for me. The head, remember to expand that neck joint, you want to pull it all the way out, straighten it up like this, and then we're going to get this down. I want to show you specifically. So you want to get it like this. So you have a 90-degree bend, this kind of 7, then an L, and then the head up. The reason why you need to have that this way is because this section here goes right between this gap in the back of the collar. So you got to have that aligned straight. So don't twist the backpack or anything like that. And you want to have it this way. Then you'll tuck that in. And then if you do it properly, everything should basically be at 90 degrees. And then pull up this little tab, which has the slotted piece, which will go around the I-beam piece. That's in her neck, at the base of her neck. Remember, make sure everything's straight. If you do it correctly, everything should kind of sit pretty close to flush on her neck. Just give her chest a quick press. I didn't fold these up, but you can fold those up whenever you want. And with that, we're back with Windgirl in her robot mode. So Final Thoughts, I do like her. I think she looks great as a figure. The overall material quality is nice. The paint is overall pretty nice. But there are just so many small nitpicky things that make it not an A+ figure for me. I mean, I don't usually rate my figures on a number scale or anything like that. But like this thing, like look, oh, come on. What is this? What is that? And then, oh, sorry, I didn't close up these panels, sorry. And then the crappy flight stand, and then the crappy wings, how they're just super loose. If those are all like tightened up in like a second release or something like that, this would definitely be a really nice figure. Definitely they definitely could knock it out of the park if they did just those minor upgrades in a subsequent release. But yeah, with this, she looks more like a wind chime than a Windblade. Let's just put it that way. And again, the ankles being kind of annoying the way they designed it. She definitely needs a stand. Like most fembots, she definitely needs a stand to maximize. But the actual overall posability is just really fun to pose her. You know, I posed her with like the elite, the Young Bucks flexing pose in the thumbnail. But she can do a lot of stuff. She can do a lot of cutesy stuff with the hearts, heart hands, the heart fingers, and stuff like that. All the blades you can do in various ways. She can hold them upside down, backwards, right side up, the different faces. The only one that I really like, the only two I really like personally are the original smiling face and the laughing face. I think those are super cute. But if you get these in the hands of somebody who is really good at posing, this figure is just really fun. Like I said, the only things I wish they would improve are some of the tolerances, adding of a waist joint as opposed to just the ab crunch kind of section, which is nice. But again, it'd be nice if they actually had a waist swivel in and of itself. Better whatever joints. I wonder if you could probably find like a Revoltech joints. I wonder if they would fit in here, and that would drastically improve the playability of this figure as well. Because right now it's just kind of frustrating to use. But yeah, I think overall she's fun. If you like fembots, she's probably someone that you need to add to your collection. It's one of the more dynamic ones, and the curvatures and everything like that, they're just really nice. So I would recommend her. She's not terribly expensive. I think she's only like $90 from Chinese resellers. If you want one from the U.S. retailer, obviously it's gonna a little bit more expensive, but you can get it to your door much sooner and have that U.S. customer service. I think I linked Toy Dojo in the description, so you can always get from him. That's my sponsor, but I got this locally, just from a local bud. All right, so let me finish off with some Any other questions? Oh, close up of a regular face? Sure, Mariana. Give me a second. Let me give some shout outs while I'm here. But let me end the poll. So I asked which name you prefer better, Windblade with a D or Wingblade with a G. That's the name I thought she had for a long time. Obviously, that's more of a joke poll. 70% of you said you like the Windblade, her official name, better, but I think Wingblade makes more sense. She has literal blades for wings, people. Let's see here. Do we have any other questions? Give me a second. No other questions that I saw there, but I will go ahead and do that close-up of the face again. So again, you can just replace it by pulling up on the chin, essentially. Tabbing that back in. The gray metallic eyes are super, super pretty too. Very reflective. But yeah, I like that face a lot. I do like the hearts, the heart hands. I think the heart hands are really cute. It's funny. It's funny that TM Reviews was like really confused about what these hands were. Clearly he's not Asian, but the funny thing is when I watched T-Man 978s, he like instantly knew that they were like Asian selfie hands. Ow, son of a gun. So yeah, she can do cute things like tilt her head. She would have also benefited from a butterfly joint. I think they could have done that, but you can do things like this over her heart or over her face. If you're much better at it than me, and since she does have those ball pegs, you do get that extra posability. So yeah, it's just kind of a fun figure just to pose. I'll probably have a pose with these heart ones like this. Let me bring out a couple more figures just to, again, finish off the review, show some comparisons again. Like I said, I really like how she displays on my MMC shelf. Even though she wasn't really in, I don't even know if she was in More Than Meets the Eye. But here are some other figures that you can compare with, kind of on the Masterpiece side and the MMC/IDW side. And then you can make a determination where she belongs, if at all, in your collection. No, come on. You were just standing for me. All right. Not going to touch it. All right, there we go. All right, I know I missed a whole bunch of... Is this still live? Yeah, it's still live. All right. Oh, there, Mariano. Thanks for making it. Winston, always a regular here. Who else do we have? Evil Ash. Throw the stand back in the box. I'd rather throw it out into the trash. That's how bad it is. It's so bad. Princeton, Mark Troy, Alex B, Blasted with the extra B and D, Bakerjin. Creans do the thumb and index thing with the heart all the time, yeah. Let's see what else we got here. Oh yeah, the Super Bowl. Is that over yet? And I think it was still in the third quarter. All right, so I think I said hi to everyone. Again, thanks for everyone who made it. Again, you guys keep me motivated. I love seeing all the regulars here, and I'm actually surprised that I'm this far into the year already, and I haven't missed one a week. I've actually done more than one a week. I'll be back later this week. I got some mainline stuff. I was actually looking for Tarn. I went hunting for the first time in a really long time, but I was not able to find a Legacy Evolution Tarn, unfortunately. But I did grab a bunch of other mainline stuff. Not even like... I saw this for the first time. I don't know why I grabbed it, but I grabbed it. The movie G1-ish toy with the modifications, upgrades. It has paint and it has some other fun stuff. I don't know a lot about G1 toys, to be perfectly honest, but I grabbed it just in case I might not be able to see it again. I might do a review and a giveaway for that. I also got this at Ross for $10. I never picked up this, but I'm a big Beast Wars fan, so I figure for $10 I'll grab Air Razor. It's not the new Rise of Beast one, but I prefer the original anyway. And then the Legacy Evolution, I got Leo Prime, Leo Convoy, or whatever you want to call him. I don't know why I got him. I had the Masterpiece one of this, and I never even opened it. So I don't know why I thought that I should get the mainline one. Let me see if I still have the... Yeah, I literally still have this one. No! I just destroyed. Still in the... Not even out of the box. Shipping packaging. Oh, Windgirl, are you okay? Actually, RC, are you okay? I care about you way more. Yeah, I don't have a lot of fembots, but I forget who it was in my Discord. My Discord channel has been giving me all these suggestions about figures. So one suggested I get the Nightbird, so I'm getting that from Toy Dojo. I'm also trying to acquire the BingoToys original release, first release, which was their Bumblebee movie Shockwave, and then I'm trying to get the Monocrat. That's the, I guess, what was it? The Bumblebee movie concept art for Megatron, and then I definitely decided I'm going to get the magnificent Mecha Optimus Prime, which is the Bumblebee movie Optimus Prime. So I'm really on a movie kick right now. So I'll be dropping a few $100s on that over the next couple weeks. Hopefully I can get some for decently cheap from somebody else. I put a want to buy everywhere that I usually post on my Discord and Facebook, and hopefully I can find one. Otherwise, I'll have to probably go. Most of them aren't available through Toy Dojo, so I'll probably have to go to Show Z or Bombust B or something like that. Got to go over to China and then wait like a month for them. So I want to try to avoid that if I can, though. That said, so that's it for this review. Again, I'll be back later this week. As promised, the third Saturday is going to be my at least designated Chatterday day. I don't know what the topic is yet. I was trying to put together that U.S. retailer roundtable, but that has not come to fruition yet. So I'm probably gonna have to figure out who the guests are going to be, what the topic's going to be for Saturday. But I'll let you guys know about the topic ahead of time. And again, I'll probably do a mainline Monday review, either Leo Prime or Air Razor. And with that, we'll just end the review with that. All right, thanks everyone. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up, share, and subscribe if you haven't already. If you're catching this on the rewind, go ahead and leave a comment. I'll get back to you as soon as possible. Other than that, I hope you guys have a good weekend and enjoy the Super Bowl, all the commercials, all the movies. And yeah, that's it for today. Thanks a lot, everyone. Have a good one.